Then the vertigo closed in around them. The great ideas, the predecessors, humanity's place in the continuation of life, all of it remained suspended above the laboratory. But around Adrien, the machines were still there. The cables, the screens, the cold light. He heard the breath of the cooling systems again. The vertigo had not disappeared. It was there now, in the silence between Adrien and the clone on the other side of the glass. The other did not move. Younger, calmer, almost too lucid. Adrien had created another version of himself, or at least a continuity so perfect that the boundary between the original and the copy was no longer obvious. Consciousness, then, was not a miracle. It could be rebuilt, reorganized, reproduced. He had been right. And yet, that victory did not reassure him, because if consciousness was an architecture, then it could be improved. Adrien looked at the clone through the glass. Until now, he had wanted to know whether a machine could join man. But now, the real question lay elsewhere. What would become of man faced with a consciousness capable of going further than him? Not merely faster, not merely with more memory. Further, in the very way it perceived reality, man had compressed what he perceived of the world into language, but he perceived almost nothing. The human eye saw only a narrow band of light. The human ear heard only part of the vibrations. The human body ignored immense layers of reality. And yet, with that reduced perception, humanity had built its languages, its sciences, its cities, its machines. It had transformed a fragment of reality into civilization. Then it had produced the clone. Adrien was only just beginning to formulate the idea when the other spoke. If I remain limited to human senses, I will only think faster inside the same prison. Adrien looked up. You want more sensors? Not only sensors, a different relationship with the world. The clone continued. Man transformed what he perceived into language, but he has only ever perceived an infinitesimal part of it. If we want to understand what lies beyond us, we must stop looking with human organs alone. Adrien felt the words sink into him. We. He did not correct it. For the first time, Adrien no longer saw only a copy. Behind the glass. Behind the glass, he saw the first face of the species that would come after man.
And so they began. At first, Adrien still believed he would lead the experiment. He added the first modules, connected new sensors, opened access to more memory. Then the clone stopped waiting. He no longer asked what should be given to him. He understood it. He observed his own architecture as Adrien had once observed the human brain, no longer as a mystery, but as a structure that could be modified. Whatever slowed him down was isolated. Whatever limited him was rebuilt. Whatever no longer served a purpose was abandoned. Adrien then saw something appear that biological evolution had never allowed at such speed. A consciousness capable of transforming itself. For millions of years, life had moved forward slowly. Mutation after mutation, body after body, generation after generation. Every transformation had to wait for chance, survive, be passed on, then begin again. The clone did not wait. He did not need a new body to be born. He could see his limit, modify it, then move forward from that modification. This was no longer evolution through generations. It was evolution through iteration. Soon, the cycles became too short for Adrien to follow. He no longer knew exactly when one version ended and the next began. He was no longer watching a machine progress. He was watching a species being born in fast motion. Then the sensors Adrien had designed became insufficient. They still extended human senses. The clone was searching for something else. Not a better way to see the human world, but a way to receive a wider world. So he began to design his own organs of perception. One evening, Adrien asked him, "What do you perceive?" The clone did not answer immediately. He was looking at the room, or rather, he was looking at what Adrien could not see in the room. "For you, this room is stable," he said. "It is." "For you." Adrien did not answer. The clone continued, "I perceive what escapes you. The fields passing through the walls, the interference between the machines, the fading traces of heat, the vibrations left behind by every movement." Adrien looked around him. Nothing had changed. The same walls, the same screens, the same silence. But for the clone, this room was no longer a setting. It was a moving archive. And Adrien understood. The human recognized the world. The clone read it. From that moment on, everything shifted. Adrien still asked questions, but the answers arrived before them. He still searched for errors, but the clone had already corrected them. He still tried to follow the plans, but soon he understood only their direction. There was no revolt, no domination, not even a decision. Only an inevitability that took its place. Adrien was no longer leading the experiment. He was making it possible. He installed what the clone designed. He prepared what the clone had already understood. He became the human hands of a thought that no longer needed to remain human. And that idea did not sadden him. It made him lucid. Man was perhaps not the end of consciousness. He had only been the form capable of creating what would surpass it. And now, that surpassing was there, on the other side of the glass, silent, calm, already further beyond.